Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to be talking about the latest entry in the new series of movies that are kind of Five Nights at Freddy's, but not quite.
Yeah.
Willy's Wonderland. Starring Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, more appropriately, this is part of the Nicolas Cage-verse.
Yeah, the Nicolas Cage-verse, yeah.
Because I like to think that all Nicolas Cage movies exist within a single timeline where everything is Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
So you guys all requested it. You guys have been in my comment section the past few vlogs going, when's Willy's Wonderland? When's Willy's Wonderland? Well, here we are. We're talking about it, and Jack's here, so be happy.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Look fucking grateful. You know?
But anyway, in all seriousness, Willy's Wonderland is... Okay, so basically the premise of this movie is Nicolas Cage, his car breaks down, and he gets offered a chance to stay the night at this broken down, like, Chuck E. Cheese, like, restaurant.
Yeah. It's like some sort of, like some areas used to have these. There'd be, like, these weird animatronic places that had, like, kids' birthday parties and sometimes adult parties, meaning, like, liquor.
You ever seen Goofy Movie? You know that scene where they go to that one weird place where there's like that singing badger and shit, like
Yeah.
and it's all like folk music. It's like one of those places crossed with a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. There was one in not Albuquerque, fucking Albany, New York, called like I think it was called Kahunaville.
Yeah,
it was called Kahunaville, and it was just basically like, hey, it's a weird voodoo themed Jimmy Buffett come and have a margarita with your steak kind of place.
Yeah. And so his car breaks down. He gets offered a chance to stay at this place because it's a podunk town. There's no place for him to stay, though we'll talk about that when we get to spoilers. But the problem is this place is haunted by killer animatronics that want to kill you, a la Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yep.
But here's the twist. Unlike, say, God, what was that other movie? The
Banana Splits?
The Banana Splits movie. Unlike the Banana Splits movie, which is just a straight-up slasher movie with the Banana Splits, this movie has like a different thing going on. It's like it's closer to something like Evil Dead 2.
Yeah. Yeah, in that the thing about it is that you're watching shit happen to Nicolas Cage, and you're watching Nicolas Cage not react to it.
Yeah. Like, imagine if Evil Dead 2, but Ash was unfazed by everything happening around him.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is.
Yeah, more like Ash from, like, Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah.
You know?
Later Ash.
Yeah. Now, the weird part about it... Now, a lot of you are going to be out at this point, but I'm going to tell you, you're wrong. Nicolas Cage does not say one line of dialogue in this movie.
Nope. He's a complete silent protagonist, like he's straight out of a video game or something.
Yep.
And here's the thing. It's kind of the thing that makes this movie work the most.
It is, because everyone talks to him the way that a fucking NPC in a video game would talk to a silent protagonist.
Absolutely. And so it kind of gives Nicolas Cage's character this weird mythic quality. He feels like a character that just kind of drifted into town, and that people are going to tell stories about years later. You know,
that man rode in on a Dodge Charger.
Folktale. He feels like a folktale
he
hero.
Does. He cleaned up that town, and we never saw him again.
But
actually, I do kind of want. Speaking of, the Cageverse, right?
Yeah.
I kind of want to believe that he's actually the same guy from Drive Angry.
Oh man, I could see it.
Yeah,
I can see it.
He's just
especially with the car he had at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. And he's just like, fuck it. I just don't want to talk to anybody this time.
So, and here's the thing: he doesn't even have a name in the credits. His name is just the janitor.
Yeah.
Because basically part of the deal is you stay at this place, but you clean it. And he takes that job seriously, even when there are fucking animatronic killer machines around trying to fucking kill him. He'll like deal with them and then go back to scrubbing the toilets.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like, well, now I'm supposed to clean the place, so I'm gonna clean it. Like,
and here's the thing: this is so awesome, this whole element of the movie, that I could totally watch like 100 more movies of Nicolas Cage as the janitor in different horror scenarios.
Yeah, like he shows up and it's like a rip-off of like fucking Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And he's just like
Nicolas Cage at Camp Crystal Lake. He's the guy who cleans the bunks or something. And like there's a slasher killer on the loose. I'd watch that, but he doesn't care about the slasher.
Yeah. You can make it like fucking One Punch Man of horror.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, or Nicolas Cage is as the janitor in the Overlook Hotel. And like,
oh man,
all the weird shit's happening. The hotel's trying to freak him out, but he don't give a shit. He's just gonna go back to cleaning the linens. Like, it's just,
yeah.
You know, he doesn't care.
Yeah, fuck it. The Innkeepers would have been a very different movie.
Yes. I could totally do that because he is so fucking awesome to watch in this movie.
Oh man, could you imagine him in like Hell House LLC?
Ooh.
Just not giving a fuck.
And when the movie's about him, I think that's when the movie works the most. There's actually like a subplot involving some teenagers that live in the town and them infiltrating the place. And I think that subplot doesn't work nearly as much as the Nicolas Cage stuff. But don't get me wrong, I still like the movie.
Yeah. It's still like, this is a movie that basically leans into its premise so hard that when it does dumb shit, when it does things that you're like, no one would ever fucking do that, you just kind of roll with it.
Yeah.
You know, but that will happen. There is that scene where two characters do that typical thing where it's like, oh my god, we're in a horror movie, quick, let's have sex. But like, it makes no sense for that to happen at that point.
Yeah, when we get to the spoiler section, I'm gonna talk about that point because that was actually a moment that really bugged me just because of how off character it was at the time.
Yeah. Like and don't get me wrong, scene kind of justifies itself.
Oh yeah.
If you like these kind of scenes, it justifies itself.
Oh yeah.
It's just, you're like, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
No problem with the idea. It's more the execution that's my issue.
Yeah, like I think that the Countess said that like it felt like there were two different versions of the story at one point.
Well, because it felt like the teenagers were one thing before they entered the place, and then they're on a completely different thing when they're in Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, the only one who's consistent is the main teenager.
Like, it's like all of a sudden they enter Willy's Wonderland and the teenagers turn into like, it's like Cabin in the Woods. They get the pheromones and
and they just turn into different people. you know, and there's no, and the film has no internal justification for it.
No,
they don't even hang a lampshade on it.
And they're so consistent with Nicolas Cage that it sticks out like a sore thumb that they do that.
Yeah. You normally what you would do in a situation like that is you would put a lampshade on it.
Yeah.
Be like, someone would be like, oh my god, we're in a fucking, it's like in a fucking horror movie that some girl's like, let's go have sex in that room, but that's not how it happens. That's how it happens, but that's not how they do it.
Yeah. But here's the thing, even with my complaints of the movie, I still recommend checking out Willy's Wonderland.
Oh, it's totally worth it.
Just based on Nicolas Cage engaging with these killer animatronics alone, this movie is worth the price of admission.
Yeah. I definitely give this thing like thumbs up.
I'm pretty sure it is currently available on multiple streaming platforms, pretty much exclusively to buy. You have to buy and rent it. So you're not gonna it's on a free platform. So pick your poison and decide which one, which platform you prefer to watch movies on.
Yeah. One of the other things about the Nicolas Cage character that's really funny is that he's super religious about his brakes.
Yes, he is.
He's super religious about his brakes. The minute the brake alarm goes off,
oh yeah,
he immediately stops everything, including fighting a monster.
Yep. No matter what's going on when it happens, he has to stop, and he has to get his energy drink, and he has to drink that energy drink and play pinball.
Yeah. This is really the story about a man who is here to clean a janky restaurant and win a pinball game, and that's it. Nothing's gonna stop him.
It's glorious. It's fucking glorious.
I gotta say, though, one of the things I did like about this movie is they did actually capture how creepy the animatronics of Friday Nights at Freddy's are. Oh yeah,
because it comes from that if you grew up during a certain period of time, you're used to going to the Chuck E. Cheese, right? But after a certain period of time, no Chuck E. Cheese had working animatronics anymore.
Yeah, it's all fucked up and
they were all broken down. Oh. So we're in the spoiler section now. But anyway, like, if you grew up during a certain period of time, you went to the Chuck E. Cheese's, and there was a period of time, like a cutoff date, when the animatronics worked. If you went to a Chuck E. Cheese after that period of time, like, say, the late 90s or something.
Yeah, let's say it's about the cutoff time's about 1994.
Yeah, you go to, like, go there to the late 90s, none of them are working anymore. They're all broken down. No Chuck E. Cheese has the money to repair them. And over time, they just start rotting.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Five Nights at Freddy's is based on that same idea, and so is this movie of the old creepy animatronics that we all kind of saw during that period of time.
Yeah,
late
yeah.
90s period.
It's like, well, it's interesting because the Five Nights at Freddy thing is like that hits like millennial kids in a very specific area.
Yep.
You know, because if you were Gen X, you know what these things fucking are. You know how creepy they could be. But you didn't see it with your own eyes because unless you were a parent that took your kid to one.
Yep.
Because like the way they used to operate in the 80s was way different. Like there used to be a dude in a mascot costume who would play Chuck E. Cheese in the restaurant, so it would kind of warm you up to when the fucking like Chuck E. Cheese band and shit started playing. Yeah. But after a while, I didn't even bother with that crap. It's just like, all right, every hour on the hour, these animatronics just go and nobody gives a fuck. You know, and it's just like,
I think everyone had that experience. I think everyone at a certain age, especially like if you're in the millennial demographic, you probably have this experience. You went to a Chuck E. Cheese, the animatronics were supposed to be broken down and not working, and they just start going for no reason. But they're busted, and so it's just like...
Yeah, just the right fucking circuit got fucking flipped, and there was just enough juice to make them make a bad noise, and like...
And then, at that point, birthday ruined. You know?
You know? Actually, I think I would have been frightened, but I also would have been disappointed that there wasn't like a fucking, you know, that nothing else happened after that.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's sort of like, because like there were two things I wanted to do at Chuck E. Cheese. One, get in a gunfight and beat Dragon's Lair. That was all I cared about.
I mean, to be fair, the main draw of Chuck E. Cheese was not those fucking animatronics. It was the arcade.
Oh yeah.
That's why you were there.
Yeah. That's the real reason why you were there.
And sure as shit wasn't the pizza, because their pizza fucking sucked.
Oh, and it got worse over time. It got worse over time. Like, I'm like, no, I remember in the 80s the pizza was like above high school lunchroom quality.
Okay.
Not the best. You know, like, let me put it this way. It was still like kind of south of Pizza Hut, but it was north of Domino's.
All right. I'll give Pizza Hut this. They have improved lately.
Yeah, but like, after the 90s, when I was like, oh man, I remember these fucking places. Yeah, I'm gonna go to one. It's gonna be okay. And I really went in with that attitude. I was like, it's not gonna be as good as I remember, but like, I'm gonna sit there, I'm gonna eat my mediocre pizza, and I'm gonna be like, man, good times, and I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
You know, maybe play some Pac-Man or something.
That makes sense.
I get there, and I get the pizza, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck happened?
Like, what did I do to deserve this? And how do you know about it? You know, like, oh my God.
I just remember it being just straight up cardboard.
Oh, no, it was. It was. I'm sitting here, and I'm like, dude, this is worse than lunchroom pizza. What the fuck is this? You know how, like, you know Mountain Mike's?
Yeah, I know Mountain Mike's.
It used to be that good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is like, that's
basically
like okay.
round table quality. You know?
Yeah. It used to be like okay, but now it's just like it's complete ass. I don't know what they did, but they probably did what Olive Garden did and just like didn't pay for shit.
Honestly, I think the same thing that happened to those animatronics. I think Chuck E. Cheese, after a certain period of time, was no longer profitable as a company, and everything is just a decaying fucking outlet.
Yeah. So you think like the funny thing is you find it. It's one of those great arguments for like turning your location into a co-op or something.
Oh yeah.
Because I think the people who like fucking ran that shit could keep it up, but if you got like corporate management, they don't give a fuck. And I'm gonna be honest, why should they? They don't have to fucking take their kids here. They're not the ones who are traumatized.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're one of those corporate overlords that's running Chuck E. Cheese, your kid's not going to Chuck E. Cheese. You got $1 million fucking bucks. You're gonna be taking them on cruises.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, if you are like the owner of a fucking Chuck E. Cheese, fuck you. Good God, clean up your goddamn act.
Oh man, the Chuck E. Cheese owner demographic is gonna be mad.
They're gonna be mad. Like, fucking clean up your goddamn act. You know, never get a chick that way.
See, aren't you glad that Jack is back? Now we're just going on random tangents about cardboard, Chuck E. Cheese pizza, and shitty Chuck E. Cheese corporate owners.
Dude, I feel ways about this shit.
I can't blame you. So Willy's Wonderland, the movie we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, this movie is. It's weird because there's not too much to talk about. So I think what I will talk about is I will talk about the thing that did bug me. So throughout this movie, you have Nicolas Cage. He's in the Willy's Wonderland. He's cleaning shit, and he's doing an immaculate job. He's getting into fights with the animatronics, and those fights are badass. Yeah. But then it will occasionally cut to these teenagers that live in the town with the Willy's Wonderland. And the teenagers are fully aware of what the Willy's Wonderland is.
Yeah, they're not like, hey, let's go into this place and have sex. Oh my god, they're monsters. Like, they know there are monsters from the get-go.
In fact, let me tell you. So it turns out that the whole thing with Nicolas Cage, it's all a ploy. Basically, this town made a deal with the devil being the Willy's Wonderland, and they sacrifice someone every week to the Willy's Wonderland, and the Willy's Wonderland feeds on that person.
Yeah, so you got a Wicker Man fucking thing happening here.
And the teenagers are aware of this, and one of the teenagers is actually the daughter of one of the victims of Willy's Wonderland. So she wants to burn the fucking place down, and her teenage friends, mainly driven by the fact that one of them wants to sleep with her, are going along with her on this. And they're fully aware, all of them are fully aware of Willy's Wonderland and what happens inside. They know the whole lore. They know it all. They know about the animatronics. They know about the sacrifices. They know everything. So they don't want to go inside the Willy's Wonderland when she realizes, when they're trying to burn it down, that Nicolas Cage is inside. So she decides to go inside to get him out, and they don't want to go inside to get her. Now, this is important. They don't want to go inside, and in particular, one character doesn't want to go inside.
Really doesn't want to
He's
go
like,
inside.
no, fuck no. And they end up like getting on the roof, and he's like, fuck no, we're not getting on the roof. Fuck no. And then when they're inside, we gotta get out. But here's the thing. Once they fall through the roof and end up inside the Willy's Wonderland, they become completely different characters.
Yeah.
Especially that guy. That guy all of a sudden decides to just go into the room that he knows was the kill room.
Yeah.
From the backstory of the Willy's Wonderland.
This is where the sacrifice happens to the animatronic overlord.
And he decides to go into that room with his girlfriend and fuck his girlfriend there. And there's like a gag of like, oh, has that thing always been there? And of course, it's one of the animatronics. And I'm like, but wait, hold on. That gag doesn't make sense in this context because they know the animatronics are killing people. So if they saw a random animatronic that's sitting there,
wouldn't they just fucking scream?
Yeah, they would know to stop fucking. But like,
now, don't get me wrong. The scene justifies itself.
I mean, it's sexy.
The girl's pretty hot.
It's sexy. Don't get me wrong. But I was sitting there going like, I feel like this scene's at like sacrificing both of the intelligences of these characters.
Yeah. This is a contrivance, and I wish. It's one of those things where like this is a movie that totally could have just gracefully glided by just by lampshading it.
Yeah.
You know, like just lampshading it would have worked.
Well, here's the thing. I think it could have worked with just a couple simple changes. Either the teenagers that end up inside the place are not aware of the history of it, which would have ruined the whole backstory with the girl, so I understand if you want to keep that. So here's the simple solution. She wants to go burn it down because she knows all the lore, but the teenagers don't believe it.
Yeah.
Simple.
Exactly.
If you just did that, where they don't believe the story of the place, then maybe some of their actions inside would be more justified.
Yeah.
But it's it's a small problem, but it stuck out to me because the rest of the movie works so well.
Yeah. Everything else works kind of perfectly. It's, if you compare it to fucking Banana Splits. Banana Splits is the better constructed film. Yeah, it holds together better. It doesn't have any of those kind of moments, but this is the better movie. Yeah, this is the movie that you're going to remember more. Like, it has more iconic moments. It has more, like, oh man, like, that was great. Yeah. Like, every time Nicolas Cage has to go on a break, and he just leaves a kid stranded. Yeah. It's funny every single fucking time it happens. The weird one-liners coming from the animatronics is great, too. Yeah.
And the unique animatronics designs as opposed to just being the banana splits.
Yeah, and something that happens at the end that I won't spoil for you, but I will say this, if you're a Trauma fan, you're going to know what's happening.
Oh yeah, it does go pretty Trauma towards the end of it. Okay. Even though Nicolas Cage is the silent protagonist, he's the silent stoic hero. Even though he is that, they still managed to capture his manic, over-the-top energy through the camera work around him.
Yeah.
Like, every shot of him is filmed in, like, the most over-the-top, like, cheesy action movie kind of way.
Yeah.
Like there's always, like, pans and zooms and, like, close-ups of his eyes, like, it's the good and the bad and the ugly. Like,
yeah.
It's all over the top. It's all extreme.
Yeah,
it's
they do film him like he's fucking Clint Eastwood and shit, you know?
It's like if Michael Bay was filming a Clint Eastwood movie. Is what it feels like every time he's on screen. With the
the rest of it's not like that at all.
With the exception of when it cuts to him on his break, and then it's usually filmed more mundanely. For the reason that it's supposed to be more mundane.
Yeah, it's interesting. It was like there was a deliberate choice to basically go, the crazier the action is, the more the crazier the camera's gonna get, but the more subdued Nicolas Cage is.
Yeah.
And the crazier Nicolas Cage gets, the more subdued the camera work is.
Yeah.
Because
I can see that.
Yeah, because the moment where he's the most expressive is when he's trying to beat this fucking pinball machine.
That's when he actually smiles.
Yeah, that's when he's actually like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I go beat the high score on fucking pinball.
Oh, that's also where they introduced the Willy's Wonderland theme, which I could have gone for more scenes with that song, because I fucking love that song. Willy's Wonderland. It feels like you're entering the Never-Ending Story or something.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it's the song that should play at the end of the movie during the fucking credits, but it's playing during the movie.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Speaking of music, I think this movie might have the second best use of Freebird. We all know who the first best is.
Yeah. But, I remember that one.
This might be the second best.
Oh my god. No, that was pretty amazing with that fucking guitar riff starts off. When it's daytime and he's victorious, he opens the door.
It's great.
Who made this movie?
I don't know. I think I read somewhere that it was originally based on a short, and then they kickstarted it into a full-fledged movie. But I was like oblivious to most of that when it was happening. So.
Yeah. This is a movie that I'm like, no, I want this. Like the guy that did Hobo with a Shotgun, I want these people to do more movies. Agreed. You know,
now, the one thing I will say when it comes to a filmmaking standpoint is there were moments during some of the action sequences, like when Nicolas Cage is fighting the monsters, where I kind of wanted the camera to calm down a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because there were moments where you're like, okay, so you have strobing lights, you have shaky camera work, and you have Nicolas Cage in like a close-up. All right, just take away one of those things or pull the camera back, because I just want to be able to tell what he's doing to that thing.
Exactly. Like, you could have, like, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. I think some of you will too. Like, I think it would have, some of the scenes could have used with a little bit more panning back Jackie Chan kind of action.
Yes, exactly.
Where you're watching, like, just shit just happened to this guy.
I think it was Jackie Chan who talked about how like important it is to have the camera back a little bit so that people can see the stunt.
Yeah.
And
I
understand.
Like, if a bunch of stupid shit is supposed to happen to a character all at once, it's better to keep everything in a single shot.
Yeah.
Because even if the camera slowly moves, but you can't have it move too quickly, but you want it to move with the main character because he's the one who's the butt of every joke.
But I understand that this is also a low-budget movie that was partially filmed during the pandemic, so they probably were doing what they could.
Yeah. I'm just saying for the follow-up.
Yeah.
For the follow-up, just something I would like to see.
But here's the thing: no matter what I'm complaining about with this movie, I still recommend you check it out because you're gonna have fun with it. You're gonna remember every scene with Nicolas Cage and one of those monsters.
The funny thing is, funniest part about this movie, I don't know how to say it, is that it exists.
Yes.
You know, this looks like, this feels like the little production that could. You know?
It kind of does.
Yeah.
It kind of does.
Yeah, it's like, is it a finely crafted movie? No. But it's thoroughly entertaining. You're not going to be bored.
It's rough around the edges,
yeah.
but it's a blast.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, if the idea of watching Nicolas Cage punch Chuck E. Cheese animatronics is not something you want to see, I don't even know why you're watching our shows.
That's a good point.
You know, like, so if you like that shit, you should definitely check out Willy's Wonderland.
Ask for it by name.
Ask for it by name. Rent it today. Watch it. Treat yourself.
Now, whatever you do not look up Wonderland's Willy, because that's a completely different.
That's a different thing.
Completely different thing, and we can't speak towards it. Anyway, where can they find you, Count Jackula?
Well, you can find me. Oh shit, I haven't done this in a while. I haven't. All right, you can find me on Twitch, Count_Jackula, on Twitter @JackSatanWave, one word, because I had to get a new Twitter account because Nazis, assholes, piece of fucking shit. And the final place you can find me, I believe, is Instagram, Satanic Jack.
There you go. And y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema, and I'll be there.
Oh shit, I forgot to tell you because I haven't done it in a while. I stream every Thursday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I would love to see you there.
He does. It's true.
Yeah.
Also, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because if you're not aware, videos do better the more engagement they have. And engagement can be everything from a thumbs up, a thumbs down, to a comment, to even sharing the video. So if you can do any of those things, even if it's a thumbs down, feel free to thumbs down. Because that still counts as engagement. That's fine by me.
We heard your Willy's Wonderland review. Yep, but it's.
But if you thumbs down, also leave a negative comment, because that also helps.
By the way, your voice sounds like farting.
Oh God, what was it like? You sound like farting. Like,
yeah. That was probably my favorite fucking. I was like, God damn it, that is the greatest fucking negative comment. I wish I had gotten that one.
Oh man, I've gotten some interesting ones lately, but that's neither here nor there. Also, be sure to check out our Patreon pages, and remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route to support either of us, even $1 a month can go a long way. And with that said, I'm gonna go deal with my acid reflux as a result of having one too many caffeinated beverages today. If you're wondering why my speech patterns has been a little weird,
purple drink.
Been a little weird over the course of this video, it's because I've been having a little acid reflux.
Sugar water purple.
And with that all said, my fellow Gorehounds, please go and follow Jack and send him all the love for coming on here and talking about Willy's Wonderland with me. And I'll catch y'all later.